Hi, today we're going to make Christmas trifle. This is my grandmother's recipe, and we've got this nice trifle bowl, so you need a nice big trifle bowl to put it in. We're going to layer it up with the sponge cake, so take your lovely sponge cake and layer it up, break it into bite-sized sort of pieces, and it looks like it fills the bowl up quite a lot, but actually by the time you put the sherry on and the jelly on, it'll be absolutely fine. It'll all squish down. So break up the... I've had this trifle in the freezer, which is quite a good idea. Coming up to Christmas, if it's busy, you can often can't get it. So if you buy it, you can just pop it in the freezer. So put in, I think it's about 300 grams of trifle sponge. So just eyeball it, have a look and see what you think. So when that squishes down, do that right. And then we've got a cup of sherry, so just cheap block, gives that lovely sherry flavour. And just pour that evenly, bit of a slosh around over the sponge like that. Maybe a little bit for good measure. And then I've got the fruit. Now I'm using sliced peaches, which are in natural juice, so unsweetened, because the jelly's got quite a lot of sugar in it, so you don't actually need too much. You could use fruit salad, but the peaches are quite nice and refreshing because it's quite a rich mixture. You can use one big can or two of these smaller ones. And so as I say, I'm saving the juice because that's going to be part of the liquid that's going to be added when you add the water to the jelly mixture. Instead of all water, we're going to use, it looks like it might be nearly a cup of juice. So allow for that amount because you want the jelly to set. And if you don't allow for that and you pour it straight in there, of course, it'll mix up the mixture. So I'm just going to push all those bits in there like that, push them down and in. That's good. And then the jelly, 2 packets of jelly, because the first packet will soak into the sponge and then the second packet will allow the jelly to sit above, and then when that's set you do your custard. So 2 packets of jelly, so that of course it's got all the sugar in it, and then that's a couple of cups of water, so whatever the mixture says on the jelly packet, put that there. Let's have a look. So it says add 2 cups of 500 mils of liquid, so the first nearly 250 mils, so we're doing double, so we need a litre. So let's say the first 250, and then 250, so that's 500. Litre. Give that a stir, and then when that's dissolved, pour that over. It goes in the fridge to set, so it's pretty hot, so it's probably going to take 3 or 4 hours. You can do it, the night before and put the custard on the next day, because you absolutely do not want to put the hot custard onto the jelly because it will melt and mix through, and then you won't get those lovely layers. Dissolve pretty quickly. Okay. Pour that over. Just make sure that sinks in. Looks like that might be enough. I'm going to hold back that amount. So judge it by the size of your bowl. that'll give a nice set there, and then the custard on top, and then the whipped cream on the top to finish it. So that goes in the fridge now, and then we'll make the custard. And the custard, we need a litre of milk. So, because we want a litre of custard, we want a decent amount of custard on the top. So put nearly a litre of milk in, holding back about, say, that much to dissolve the custard in. So heat that up. Now, custard burns really easily, so you've got to stir it the whole time. So into here, custard. Now, the custard on the packet for a litre would be about 4 tablespoons, but we need it a bit thicker than that because we want it to set a bit firmer, and that's why you can't use the pre-bought custard because that never really sets. So that's 3, 4, 5 tablespoons of custard powder. Tablespoon per 500 mils of milk, which is the standard amount of custard you make on a packet, and that's a tablespoon. But this just needed, because it's going to be served cold and not hot, you don't notice the sweetness, it's a bit plain, it just needs it extra. So 3 tablespoons, and then you take that milk and you just get that dissolved while that's heating up, while the milk's heating up. Just get that nice and dissolved so that you don't have lumpy custard. If it does go lumpy, just strain it because you don't want it lumpy. And as I say, the milk burns really easily. So warm up the milk, get that quite hot, and then this has got all the lumps out of it now. So that's your litre. So that's ready to go into the milk when the milk is heated. And then you bring it to the boil, and it's only a corn flour mix anyway, and that's in these, so it only takes 2 or 3 minutes. So get that all in, stir that. Now that custard does not go on top of that until that is fully set, and just touch it, you'll be able to feel if it's set. So then I'll show you the picture, and then of course it's whipped cream on the top. It's a good idea to make the trifle a day ahead so that all the flavours can mix in and it can really set. Gives it a much nicer flavour. It's always nice the next day, even for breakfast. Okay, so I'm going to stir that till it thickens, and then I'm going to let that cool, and I won't put it on top of the jelly until it has set.